I don't think I showed the extent of this rust on the other side. How badly rotted out this bottom of the A-pillar is here. So you can see, so I've cut all this out. Put a couple pictures up, but so anyways, this, you can see it here. The other side, I fixed that already. So can't really see it too well though. Anyways, this is the piece that I made to go on the back side. See, here it goes up in there. I don't want to put it back in there because it's kind of hard to get out once it's all locked up in there. Anyways, it goes up in there. So I'm just in the process of pulling out the rest of this rotted stuff. So I've made a couple of cuts up in the back. Yeah, see if I can just break it off. That's not really where I wanted it to break off, but anyways. That's out of here. So far that's all the junk that's come out of this car. Yeah, so I gotta cut up higher here. Oh no, that's where I cut it right there. Gotta get rid of the rest of this. Anyways, I'll just carry on here and I'll come back. Here's the inner piece all put into place here. You see, it's gonna be a little difficult, and I can't really get anything up in here to clean this. So I could try a wire wheel on a die grinder. It might help a little bit, but it's all fit anyways, so it looks good. It's butting up against the toe board here. I'm just going to stitch that on to the toe board along this edge here. It's not the way it was factory, I don't think, but it's just the way it's going to have to be right now. And then it's a splice here onto the inner rocker. And that's how it was. It kicked up there. And then this here, you see, looks like there's a piece missing, but actually that's how the inner part goes up. It goes up at an angle. And then this outer piece carries along this flange here. So you're right about there, I guess. Well, I guess it comes all the way around here, but I'm going to have to make it in a couple pieces. Yeah, so anyways, there you go. Here's a little piece I made to repair the bottom of the air pillar. Fits in behind here. And this little pad here. I'm going to drill a hole in that and thread it to receive the bottom fender bolt there. I just cut a couple slits in this piece here, bent this out, and then I welded a chunk across the bottom, and then I just filled in the sides with weld. You see, and then I just built up the area where the bolt's going to come through there with some weld, so it's a little thicker. So I'm ready to weld this in now, so I'll do that and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all in there. There it is, all welded in. That thing looks pretty neat. This is I made this piece out of I think it's 14 gauge. It's quite heavy, maybe even thicker than that. Anyways, the A-pillar is made out of quite thick metal, so I wanted to, match that. I guess Not sure exactly what this thing looked like. It's pretty rusty here. I know that this part where the fender mounts, there was a chunk of 1/4 inch plate welded inside of this, and I think it would have had to have, well, maybe not, because this is pretty thin here, but pretty thin. The fender is pretty thin. But anyways, this is how it worked out for me, so that's how I'm doing it. That's how I did it. Still have to finish welding this here along here, and then I got to make a little patch for this, and then close this all in here. And I also made this patch here for this part, so I haven't finished welding that yet either. Gotta finish welding this along here and down here and along here. But at least now this is all it's all closed in now. So before, all the junk coming off the tire would have gone into this hole here, this rust hole, and then right inside the rocker panel. There was quite a bit of, sand and mud and stuff up in here. So anyways, it'll help this rocker panel survive for a lot longer than it would have otherwise. And the integrity of this car is the structural integrity is back now there. So now I got to make this body mount here is all gone, rusted. So I got to redo this now. And unfortunately, the last guy that worked on this car, he welded a plate, like a chunk of tin on top of where this body mount goes, and there should have been an access hole here to get at the top of the bolt. See, there's a nut there on the bolt, but he just welded right over it. There's no access, so I gotta go up and I think I can get a wrench in here to hold the, maybe, yeah, I think well, not enough room actually. So I'm gonna have to kind of figure out where that bolt head is on the floor pan, cut a hole in it, get it so I can get a socket on it so I can get this undone, and then I'll undo this other body mount right here too if I can, and just kind of lift the corner of the body off here a bit, get some room in there. So, and then I'll rebuild that mount, and yeah, that's the next task. Just making this little piece to fill in the front of the rocker there, right there. So I didn't want it to fall inside, so I welded this little tab on it so I can hold it. And then also, I don't know if you can see that, sort of where I kind of knife edged it there. So it wasn't, I wanted to reduce the width of this piece. So anytime I'm trying to fit a piece of metal, and I want to just grind it a little bit off the edge. So if you come in on the grinder square to the edge, it's impossible to tell how much material you're taking off. Well, I mean, you can sort of, unless you, I guess there's a couple of ways you can do it. You could take a Sharpie and make a black line along the edge, and then you can see as it disappears. But to save pulling a Sharpie out, making a mark, all I do is I grind it off at a 45-degree angle, like this. I heard to do this with, so I have the material like that. I just start grinding it at 45, and then it makes that whatever you want to call it, that face there, the facet, and then you can grind back, and you can watch that disappear, and then you get a sense of how much material you're taking off. There it is, all done. Go on to the body mount now. That's gonna be ugly, working on that, because I don't think I'm gonna get this apart. So, not gonna be able to raise the body up to do that.